The secret kitchen scrap worms swarm to 10 times faster than compost. If you've been gardening for a while, you already know the value of earthworms. They're nature's underground workers, tirelessly aerating soil, breaking down organic matter, and enriching your beds with nutrient-packed castings. Without them, soil can feel lifeless. With them, it becomes fluffy, fertile, and just bursting with life. Most gardeners think the only way to lure worms into their gardens is through compost. And yes, compost works. But here's the secret most folks don't talk about. There's one simple kitchen scrap that brings worms in 10 times faster than compost ever could. It's something almost every household throws away without a second thought, and once you know how to use it right, your garden will become a worm magnet. So grab your gloves and let's dig into this game-changing trick. Why worms are a gardener's best friend. Before we reveal the kitchen scrap itself, let's remind ourselves why worms matter so much. Worms are more than just wriggly creatures underfoot. They loosen compacted soil so roots can breathe. They improve drainage by creating tunnels. They boost fertility through nutrient-rich worm castings, and they speed up decomposition of organic matter. The presence of worms is one of the clearest signs of healthy soil. That's why gardeners are always asking, how do I attract more worms? And here's the exciting part. You don't need a fancy worm farm or expensive additives. You just need the right kitchen scrap. The secret kitchen scrap watermelon rinds. Yes, you read that right. Watermelon rinds are the ultimate worm attractor. While most fruit and veggie scraps will eventually lure worms, watermelon does it faster, stronger, and more consistently. Why? Let's break it down. Moisture content. Worms love dampness, and watermelon is packed with water, sugars, and natural softness. The sweet, soft flesh and rind start breaking down quickly, which worms can easily munch on. Smell factor. As watermelon decomposes, it releases a mild, sweet scent that worms pick up on and rush toward. In short, watermelon scraps are like an open buffet for earthworms. Put them in your garden, and you'll see worms gathering in just a few days, sometimes overnight. So, how do you actually use watermelon rinds to attract worms? Here's where, honestly, a lot of gardeners go wrong. They just toss watermelon rinds on top of the soil and, well, expect miracles. While you might still spot a few worms hanging around, the real magic happens when you use watermelon the right way. First, chop the rinds into smaller pieces. Worms work a lot faster when there's more surface area. A whole rind takes quite a while to break down, but small chunks start attracting worms almost immediately. Next, you'll want to bury the scraps shallow. Just dig about 2 to 3 inches into your soil and tuck those pieces in. This helps keep flies and rodents away while making the scraps easy for worms to find. Then, choose a moist spot. Worms really don't like dry soil, so if your garden bed is dry, just water it lightly before adding the rinds. After that, cover with mulch. A light layer of straw, leaves, or grass clippings on top keeps the moisture in and creates, honestly, the perfect worm haven. And finally, repeat every week or two. Once the rinds are gone, and trust me, they disappear fast, refresh the soil with another batch. Let's talk about the science behind this. Worms are naturally drawn to decomposing organic matter. But not all scraps are created equal. Some, like onion skins or citrus peels, just take way too long to break down and can even repel worms. Watermelon, on the other hand, decomposes quickly because it's mostly water and sugars. This rapid breakdown attracts beneficial bacteria, which in turn draws worms. You can think of watermelon rinds as a signal flare for worm activity. While compost is more of a slow burn, watermelon is like an instant spark. So, here's my personal experience with watermelon scraps. On my Soilpower journey, I've tested just about every food scrap you can imagine. Coffee grounds, banana peels, potato skins, you name it. They all worked, but honestly, nothing compared to watermelon. One summer I buried a pile of rinds in my raised bed and checked back the next day. To my surprise, the soil was absolutely swarming with worms, more than I'd ever seen in one place. The bed stayed lively for weeks afterward. That's when I knew I had stumbled on something really worth sharing. Every season since, I've used watermelon rinds as a worm booster in my garden, and every time the results have been incredible. So, if you're new to gardening, don't overthink it. Just save your watermelon scraps after your next snack or picnic, chop them up, and bury them in your garden bed. That's it, really, it's that simple. In a few days, Check the spot and you'll likely see worm trails and soft, rich soil. And if you're working with small spaces or container gardens, you can still use this trick. Just bury a handful of rinds in a pot or raised bed, and worms, or even smaller soil critters, will come running. It's an easy, no-cost way to boost soil life. Now just a quick word of caution. While watermelon scraps are fantastic, don't go overboard. If you dump huge piles all at once, the scraps can rot anaerobically, creating a smelly mess. The key is moderation. A few rinds here and there, refreshed every week or two, is perfect. Also remember that worms are part of a bigger ecosystem. Pairing watermelon rinds with compost, mulch, and organic practices will give you the best long-term results. So, experienced gardeners, let's talk about taking it to the next level. If you're already deep into soil building, here's how you can really maximize the watermelon trick. First, layer with compost. Just add a little compost on top of the rinds to speed up decomposition. Next, create worm feeding stations by designating spots in your garden where you consistently bury the rinds. Over time, worms will colonize those zones really heavily, and you can combine this with cover crops. Planting legumes or clover alongside your worm attractors can honestly double the fertility benefits. This isn't just about worms, it's about creating a thriving, balanced ecosystem in your soil. So why does this trick beat compost alone? Well, compost is slow and steady. It's essential, sure, but it can take weeks or even months to show results. Watermelon rinds, on the other hand, are immediate. They give you a quick worm rush while your compost continues working in the background. Think of it this way. Compost is the long-term investment, while watermelon is the quick boost. Use both, and honestly, your soil will never be the same. Here are my final thoughts. This is Soilpower in action. At Soilpower, we're all about sharing practical, affordable, and effective ways to supercharge your soil. And this little secret, using watermelon rinds, really ticks all the boxes. It's cheap, it's easy, and it works faster than almost anything else. So the next time you enjoy a juicy watermelon, don't toss the rinds. Turn them into worm bait and just watch your soil come alive. If you found this tip helpful, I'd love for you to try it in your own garden and share your results. Worms are the hidden heroes of soil health, and with just a few watermelon rinds, you can invite them in like never before. And hey, if you enjoyed this article, make sure to subscribe to Soilpower on YouTube and share this resource with your fellow gardeners. Let's spread the word and keep building healthier, richer soil together.